like, for example, like nobody's supposed to punch you. So like just because somebody don't punch you doesn't mean I should say thank you for you not punching me.
Hi, I'm Kathleen and I've been to Pinkdot 2 times.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I've been to Pinkdot, strictly speaking, 3 times, but I plus 1 to 4 times.
Hi, my name is Adam. I've been to Pinkdot 9 times since 2011.
Hi, my name is Ilya, also known as Femme Patel. I've been to Pinkdot, I think about 4 times, including performing for Pinkdot last year.
Hi, my name is Brian and I've never been to Pinkdot before.
Pinkdot is a gay event.
When I first heard this question, I got very angry because to me, it's for somebody who's only been to Pinkdot 2 times, and from what I see on social media and from what I hear from the people around me, I know it's not just a gay event and it's more than that. It's about, representing everyone and accepting them.
I feel like although their mantra is freedom to love, right? Accepting everyone's freedom to love. But most of it is packaged around the gay community, I feel. Personally, I feel that's the vibe that I got from the start. And that was why I went in support of my gay friends. I know it's supposed to include LGBT transsexuals and lesbians, but I feel like they are more underrepresented in the Pinkdot sphere. And it's more to the layman, to like, if you ask my mom, I'm sure she will tell you, oh, it's the gay event. Oh.
I think to me, even though I've never gone before, but I guess from my personal point of view is, I view people that go for Pinkdot as like people that are willing to stand up and take a more open stance and take an inclusive stance. So just labeling it a gay event to me is demeaning.
I mean, we've all heard like somebody call it like a gay event or something, a gay agenda kind of thing. But I think at the end of the day, like whenever these things happen, I always think to myself, being like, what's the gay agenda? What's the gay event? Like, I don't really quite understand it because I don't think I think whatever meaning that people put to like a gay event or a gay agenda, they're just weaponizing it, to say that it's a bad thing or whatever, that it goes against like whatever you believe in.
Like, I would disagree. I don't think it's just like for gay as in like queer people in general. Like, allies are definitely important to like our community. Like, they help to push like the movement for acceptance. You want to call that the gay agenda, sure, go ahead. That's what we are trying to fight for. We are trying to fight for acceptance, throughout the world. And this event is not just for gay people to come and socialize, it's for straight people to come to educate themselves, to support and to just show love. It's for everyone.
Businesses should be vocal in their support for LGBT-related issues.
I think why I chose disagree is because I feel that the question kind of implies that if you're not vocal means you don't support. But I feel that at the same time, there's a lot of people that might not be vocal about it but still support. I understand that if people feel strongly about it, they should be in some way comfortable to share it. At the same time, I think I'm uncomfortable with the implication that if you don't voice it, that doesn't mean that I don't support also.
Yeah, I do agree that you don't have to be vocal to show your support, because the business can be donating to some charities and stuff, and they don't have to show the world that they are in order to show that they support. But just in consideration of showing solidarity, I do feel like they should somewhat not display a giant pride flag or something on their store, but just make it a point that they don't discriminate LGBT people.
I feel like if you're a business, you do have a responsibility to kind of show where you stand, because at the end of the day, if you have a good following and you have loyal customers and stuff like that, I think if you put out a message and effort that you stand in solidarity with whichever LGBT related issues or causes, then people are bound to like understand it or I guess tolerate it, I suppose, which I guess tolerance is the most basic form of acceptance you can get on some level. But then I also do agree that like some businesses do put out like a meaningless kind of statement without any real effect.
I would say that if it was meant to be a marketing ploy, it should be a meaningful one. So, like, for example, proceeds will be donated to a certain charity.
Yeah, basically like don't let the business like capitalize off like LGBT people.
Correct.
Like, they want to be vocal about this, I'm fine with it, but just don't, try to use us to gain profit. That's just wrong.
Should the LGBT community be thankful for the presence of Pinkdot?
What I thought of was it provided a platform, okay, for voices to be heard, for people like me who I don't, and I will never understand the pains. I go and then I can see people's stories. I can see the charities that are involved, the communities that have participated. It provides some kind of exposure, however limited, to people who otherwise would have zero exposure.
I don't think there should be anything that people should be thankful about because at the end of the day, I think it's just something that it's a right for everyone. It's a basic human right to just be accepted for like whoever you are.
Lol, now they're gonna say our generation's really ungrateful.
Oh.
Haven't we heard enough of that?
I'm thankful
It is what
for
it is. The situation, it is what it is. Yes, we should be more progressive. Yes, it's 2020, but we are not, man. But we are not, and we are here in a place that.
Yeah, I understand your point of view, but I feel like it's like for example, like nobody's supposed to punch you. So like just because somebody don't punch you doesn't mean I should say thank you for you not punching me. But I feel like at the same time, I kind of find myself empathizing a little bit with the question, a little bit, and I preface it a bit because I feel that in some way people can be thankful because I can imagine it provides some form of comfort. Like I might not be from that community, but I can just imagine that it's comforting to know that there's more people out there that are like that.
Pinkdot will lead to the introduction of all-encompassing laws.
For now, especially in Singapore, Pinkdot is like the biggest platform, I guess, in Singapore that like you get to hear people's stories and you get to hear like the underrepresented voices. On a very minute level, it indicates to people in power that, hey, like people's mindsets are changing. And I guess on some level that will help them to introduce like maybe like anti-discrimination laws or like harassment laws in schools and at workplaces and stuff like that protect the underrepresented, I suppose.
I really admire the organizers of Pinkdot and what they've done so far for so many years. They have really come a long way into bringing, the LGBT community out there to the wider society. And I'm really proud of all the efforts. But at this point in time, how I feel about it is I think that a lot of people are getting really comfortable, especially those who support this cause. And I don't think that it would lead to any encompassing laws into the future unless everybody comes together and really does something about it, even after Pinkdot.
But I do know that there are like the smaller LGBT like communities or activist groups who have tried to file for cases against like the 377A. If I'm not wrong, this year I think there were like 3 cases against that law. But I think all of them lost. But in terms of Pinkdot itself, I have to somewhat disagree that they may not be the particular driving force to push out for this kind of laws, but they might help inspire other organizations.
I think I'm just thinking like from a different point of view, which is not to say I disagree with you guys, but it's more of, I feel like laws are one part, but like at the same time, laws don't tell you to like be nice to people. Ultimately, this is something that is a mindset lah. Whether you agree or disagree, you shouldn't discriminate against somebody just because of their orientation or because of what your different values are. And you can have differences. I think that's normal. think it should still have. I think there's something that is a bit deeper than that. That is like a mindset that society needs to shift in general.
It's 2020, guys. Time to be inclusive.
I look forward to the day when Pinkdot is no longer necessary.
I definitely don't want Pinkdot to just be like a protest, like right now that it is what it is, like it's a day where we're trying to fight for our rights. I just want Pinkdot to be like a fun day where we just come together and celebrate love lah, I just hope one day, we're not just restricted to Hong Lim Park, we're free to, love everyone and just be ourselves.
To me, like Pinkdot symbolizes some form of the beginning of a discussion, and I feel that as society progresses more, we only see more and more areas where we can sort of discuss. Like we are realizing there's more to sexuality, for example, than we thought there was like 10 years ago, 50 years ago. So I feel like it's a platform for discussion, and I don't know. So like it's twofold, I guess. I don't really know what will happen, like in the time ahead. So I don't know how that looks like. So for me, it's like a bit more cautious to say like, yeah, I look forward to that day.
I love Pinkdot, but I feel that at the end of the day, I don't want it to just be a day of the year whereby everybody comes forward with their families, their loved ones to show who they really are. I feel it's something that should be practiced throughout the year, every single day of their lives, where they are comfortable and they can love openly. And yeah, maybe Pinkdot doesn't have to be Pinkdot, but it could be something bigger than that. Like everyone could organize their own little activities, their own events, and who knows?
Thank you for watching our Pinkdot episode. We hope this episode has allowed you to see the different perspectives of Singaporeans about Pinkdot.
Be sure to subscribe to SG Layers for more interesting content. If you have any suggestion or you would like to join the discussion, fill out the form below. Bye!